Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to today's session. This is the first session of our May online session series. And to conduct this, we have Ms. Afshin Ahmed. Ms. Afshin Ahmed is a doctoral researcher in educational science at the University of Helsinki and the founder and CEO of Nexus Angle, Finland. Her work focuses on making learning meaningful, engaging, and accessible through practical teaching strategies and AI-supported approaches. With over 10 years of experience in English language teaching and teacher training, she has worked across diverse educational contexts, including institutions such as Karachi Grammar School, BBS Parsi High School, and Kiran Foundation. Her approach emphasizes context-responsive learning, reflective thinking, and practical solutions for everyday classroom challenges. So over to you, Ms. Afshin Ahmed. You may start your session now.
Thank you so much, Faheen, for the introduction, and Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Wa alaikum assalam.
And thank you for giving this opportunity. And
Yeah, it's our pleasure that you took out time for us and conducting this session.
yeah, so let me share my screen and let me know if it is working fine.
Yes, we can see it.
And I can go to the presentation mode, but I'm not sure if I would be able to see the chat, and that is something that I want to really see. But okay, we will see. Anyway, so you have already introduced me, so I don't have to say more about it. I just want to maybe going to the main window. I just want to say a few words about where I am now and what I'm doing. Is my audio and everything clear?
Yes, I think a little bit louder would work fine.
Okay, let me just come closer
Yes.
and make my volume like up. Okay, so let's start. I'm not sure how many people are there. Is it still 2 or we have some more? Yeah, okay. We have, I think, 4 or 5 more participants. If you cannot see the screen or something happens in sharing or something, do let me know so I can try to fix it. So I came here in Finland in 2022 as a master's student, and then after graduation, I've started my PhD now and also have started working as a founder and CEO of a company that is mostly focused on teachers training and also, of course, also youth training. So that was about me, but I would really like to know about the participants here so that I know that I talk something relevant. So if possible, if you can share in the chat your name, what grades you teach, early years, primary, secondary level, or higher education, college level or university level. How often do you teach online? Is it something that is really, really common in your context? And if you like, you can also share your biggest strength or struggle in online teaching, because this topic is mostly based on online teaching context. And the time is so short that we cannot like really go into traditional on-site teaching, but we will try to make some connections there too. And I think if they want to speak and raise hand, then you will allow them, right? Right? I already see people who I know. If Ariba remembers me. Nadeem Kokar from Rural Sindh. I teach matriculation grade students. Great. and Zardashia from Pakistan. Okay. Thank you, Ariba. See, the world is like this. We find people everywhere again. Oh, it would be great if you can also mention that what grades you teach and how often maybe. Server Joxy, if I say your name correctly. Yeah, maybe we can move on in a minute. Okay, Maria Sajjad is from Pakistan skill trainer. Great. Aksa from Direction School. I don't know, something is hiding something, but international I can see. Currently on professional break. Okay, that's good that we have a diverse audience here. Samina. Does anyone have any experience of online teaching? I'm sure you have. We have been through COVID. We have been through war times, still going through that. Yes. I hope that schools are at least now on. And I think this just gives me some idea, but I still don't know, like middle school matriculation. Yeah, okay. So that's secondary level. We can then move on. Okay, yeah, I have kept some Q&A session in the end, and I think these questions are very good, and we can bring them in the end about the Scandinavian region. I don't live in Scandinavia, though. I live in Finland. That is a Nordic country, not Scandinavian, but yeah, normally people don't know that. We will come to that. Secondary level. Okay, so we have like more like secondary level people. So now I'm not sure that how much experience you have of online teaching or how much you're familiar with it, but I have a question again for you, and I want you to think if you have taught online teaching. If you haven't, then maybe you can just imagine some situation where you might, and think of something, a class that did not go very well. And I can speak in Urdu as well, right? I wasn't really sure about that. Farheen, if you can just mention in the chat that if that's okay. So it's like you need to think of a class setting where the lesson did not go well. It was online, but the reason wasn't something like a technical reason, like electricity failure or Wi-Fi issues or any device failure or something like that. And think of that. And after that, I want you to maybe put one word that describe what went wrong or what did not work. That will really help me to understand the problems that you're facing and then to adapt the strategies according to that. Disengagement. Very, very good answer. Yes. Disengagement, I'm assuming, on the part of students, not the teachers, or if also the teachers. Hadika currently on professional break. Okay, I think I read that before. And if you did not have any experience, you can just answer it like that, that what could be the problem that the class doesn't go well, or anything that you feel that was not really good. Less energetic, engagement. Okay. I understand this that engaging students in your context. Less motivation. Very good. Engagement and motivation sometimes are considered similar things, but motivation is a bit different from engagement. Yes. You can answer more than one word. That's okay. I do not want to limit you. All right. So we, according to your responses and according to my experience as well, engagement is a big problem, not only in online classes, I think in physical classrooms as well. And sometimes it comes because of technical reasons, and sometimes it comes because of lack of motivation or something else that is not making the lesson relevant to the students. Attention. Okay. Yeah, that's a good word. Engagement and attention. Yeah, there is a strong relationship with that. Because if you're not engaged, you're not gonna pay attention to something. Samina said that the most challenging part is attendance, by the way. Yes. I'm not sure if in a school context attendance is an issue, because the context that I have experienced, it wasn't a big issue for me. It was COVID-19. I was teaching Karachi Grammar School at that time, the college level students. I did not face that one, but of course, if there is no structure, nobody is coming to see that who is taking class, who is not, then that's a big issue. And yeah, technical issues. I wanted to know the answers that are beyond technical issues, but it's a big issue. The thing is that, yes, yes, Shahar, you're right. The context of online classes, both are interrelated. Very uh, correct answer. So the thing is that these technical issues are something that sometimes are like beyond our control. If there is electricity issue and we don't have a backup, then we can't solve this issue like right away. And then technical issues, for example, like Wi-Fi breakdown or something, of course, we can have like handy secondary devices and secondary connections, but sometimes it happens that things just do not work. Worldwide problems are happening or something like that. So I would rather not focus too much on that because that is technical, not pedagogy related. I want to bring the focus to the pedagogy so that we try to change things that we can, something that is beyond our control. Of course, management and administration has more to do towards that. So now let's move on. You have like given me very good responses about the problems that we might face other than the technical problems. And now I want you to assume that you are observing a class. Has anyone here observed a class before, or other teachers teaching? Yes. Samina Shaheen said yes. So I want you to keep the focus again towards the online class if you have observed any. And if you haven't, that's okay. We are going to do that right now, just as hypothetically. Offline settings, yes, I think we all have. Those who have taught, we usually have these kind of observations that we go and observe other teachers, sometimes evaluate them and fill the forms, and that goes to the HR and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so I'm showing you a case, and it's a little bit of writing on the slide, but I think you can easily read that, and I will give you time to read, and then we will discuss something. So just imagine that you are observing an online classroom that is taught by another teacher, it would be good if you assume the context that you teach, whatever grade level you teach, so that it becomes easier to understand what is happening there, right? Okay, so there are a couple of people who have observed the classes. So this is the case. I'm not sure if my chat window is blocking the text. Let me know if you can't read, and I will try to, maybe I can do a little bit zoom in. So right now, I'm not looking at the chat. I want you to give it a read. Take your time. And once you are done reading, you can show in the chat a thumbs up or anything that, or you can say done. Great. Fast reading, Nadeem. Good. Yeah, we'll come to these factors. Time constraint is a big factor, yes. Okay, we have like more than 10 people. That's good. So this lesson is actually beginning with a short YouTube video, and then there are a couple of activities. As you can see, there's some quiz going on Kahoot, and then some word wall games where you see the leaderboards and competition that who did first and in the shortest amount of time. And then students are sent to the breakout rooms that we have in Zoom, and I think also in Meet. I'm not sure about Teams. And then blah, blah, blah. So Padlet, Flipgrid. Flipgrid is for, I think you guys might know better than me. I'm not using all these technologies now, but Flipgrid is a video making tool. If you are aware, you can let me know in the chat. And these are, I think, a little bit old. We have a lot, many new digital tools now. So the lesson is basically like moving from one activity to another, and some students are very active and some students are quiet, or teacher do not know if they are working or not, or if they are even listening. And teacher is also responding to students by answering their questions briefly. And okay, yeah, yes, Samina, yes, you have done this. I can see chat a little bit of these tools or apps. Yeah, we all, I think COVID was a time that we all jumped to exploring all these tools and all. Over usage of diverse tech tools. Oh no, we are not answering right now. Nothing. You are actually far ahead. So, okay. Now I'm moving on to another case. Let's see that. You're observing another class now, and this is how it looks like. We switched to online because of COVID, yes. Maybe some developers build one app solutions. I would like to know more about that. What's the point of like one app solutions? I think I did not really get the point, but I'll wait for a minute for you to read this. Thank you for saying done in the chat. That really helps me understand how much time is required. Emojis has emojis have made life easier for us. We don't have to use words sometimes, right? So in this class, the teacher is actually beginning with a question instead of a tool, and she's connecting it to she or he. I do not want to just point out she. It's just a habit that has been developed here. I think in Finland it happens a lot. So for anyone who is a teacher, and they activate students' prior knowledge. Students are asked to write responses in the chat and send them together. And teacher reads them a few responses and she asks some questions like why or why do you think so or can you explain more, like involving students. And then teacher is building the lesson through discussion based on the answers, and a few students are engaged while still many do not respond, and it is not clear if learning is happening or not. And there are pauses between questions, like teacher is not speaking continuously all the time, but taking breaks, I think. And the teacher waits. And the class stays focused on discussion until the end, but it is still not clear that if everyone is engaged or not. So going back to the first one. Now I want you to respond in the chat, and if the organizer here allows, you can also speak if you want. My first question is that how do you feel about the first class, this first class that you have observed as maybe a coordinator or as a parent or whoever? What do you think about this class? Critical thinking questions. Yes, Samina. The other case is actually involved in critical thinking questions. What do you think about this one? Now you can answer whatever you are feeling. Yes, you may unmute your mics if you want to speak, or maybe raise your hand if you want to speak. I cannot at least see the other things because of the screen sharing, but Fahim can. So I would really like some options that if you want, if you can put on the chat, what are your feelings about the first class that you have observed just now? Diversity of tech tools may pose challenges. Okay, that's a very thoughtful kind of a comment, yes, because yes, there are videos and there's apps, there's breakout rooms, there is sharing apps, video apps, too many tools, and it might be difficult for the teacher to handle or even the students to handle everything together. Excited, yes. Students who really like activity, movement, or a lot of colors, or bright or uh, vibrant kind of environment, for them it is very excited. But for the students who learn differently, a lot of activities or colors or something might get them uh, think not to learn or be active in that class or avoid it. I think I missed one. Engagement of students. Okay, Zartasha, you feel that the teacher is keeping his students engaged. Good. The students in the first case are not given time to think, and then they are multiple activities without really assessing overall ongoing learning. Thank you so much, Samina, for saying this, because that was actually something that I wanted you to think that a lot of activities or continuously keeping students engaged is kind of a myth that we have developed because of the fast-paced capitalist societies we live in. Sorry if I become too philosophical sometimes. I'm a researcher, so I tend to, and I have to bring back myself to this simple understanding language. But students are excited, not learning many things. Thank you, Hadika. You said it in a very few words very, very well. Lack of human interaction, especially students, may prefer lively entertainment and engagement at offline mode. Yeah, but that's not something that we have all the time, the option. Sometimes like for example, the pandemic time, we couldn't really go to the on-site things, and it was something that was forced on us, but we didn't have a choice. And like formative assessments, okay. Very nice. I loved your answers, and they were different answers, not only criticizing, not only appreciating. So I really loved it. Thank you for sharing that. Now I really want you to come back to this one and put some thoughts about this case that what do you think about this class that you have observed? Yes, Nadeem, you are talking about something that I am actually doing research on. My PhD topic is that. I would really like to connect with you. Yeah, we can have these discussions, of course. Amazing. But do we have a choice in capitalism, or it's a complicated thing? So what do you think about the second class? Okay, Hadika says that we should encourage more silent students to take part in class. Yes, but then how you do it is actually important, because sometimes there are psychological limitations, and if you force them in a way that is not aligned with their needs, it may also bring some problems, and students may develop some kind of trauma. Yeah. So that's an important point. And every teacher wants that their students are active and they are involved. Why there are pauses is in the teacher training. SLOs are these student learning outcomes following SLOs. I don't know. It's just a case. uh, you you can criticize it or you can say. So pauses means that she's waiting. For example, when I asked you a question or when I showed you the case, I got quiet for some time and took the pause so that you can read or you can think and type and contribute to the chat, right? It started with AOL. I don't know what's that. Then critical thinking questions asked to build up the lesson, but quiet students are not given chances. Very good observation. Very good point that we don't know how many students or all students, how they are involved. Encourage more encourage more those who are silent, calling their name and motivate them by, yes, you can do it. Yes, that's really good point. And encouragement and appreciation, it is always good. Sometimes, like, it also happens that in non-understanding communities, um, sometimes I have experienced that other students start making fun of such students. So we really need to understand our students first, that any action we take uh, to involve silent learners, how would it turn out? That's very, very important to know. But it shows that you're thinking of your students. Yeah, think, pair, share is a good strategy. But yes, of course. Okay, AOL is assessment of learning. Sorry, I did not know that. Thank you for sharing this. And then AFL, assessment for learning, that is yes. Yeah, you made me remind the spelt ICELT course, this assessment of learning, assessment for learning, and assessment. Yeah, there was something more. I don't remember now, but yeah, it was about something about the prior knowledge. And that is important because when you activate the prior knowledge, then you know that how you can adapt your lesson according to the people's understanding that are sitting there. It is very important. And then on the other hand, it also helps students to relate to the content that you are teaching. So that is good. Hearing from the unheards is a must. But again, it depends on how they want to be heard. Isn't that right? So, Nadeem, I partially disagree with the point, but you can convince me. I am open for the dialogue. And then assessment as learning. Assessment as learning is a reflective practice on, yes, I think I missed that one. Assessment as learning is reflective practice on students' part. Thank you for sharing that. I just need some water. Amazing answers, and that shows that, of course, you have experience of teaching and you know your students, and I can understand through the terms that you have already gained qualifications of pedagogy and terms, so that's really good. One question I want to ask, like quickly, yes and no answer, or not yes and no, like choosing answer one or two. Which class would you like to sit in? If you were a student, would you like to be a student in the first class, this one, or the second one? Two. Samina says two. Okay. So you're more like a reflective learner who likes to participate in questions, critical thinking activities. Class two. Okay. Can I ask why? Why do you choose this one? Okay. Ariba wants to stay in class one. And I mean, the not grade one, that is the first case. And do share why you would want that class to be yours. As a student, think of it as a student. So yeah, so Samina is a person who needs time to think and enjoys critical thinking, if I got it right. And feel free if you want to speak on the mic. Believe me, teachers love it. You guys are teachers, so you know that when you hear your students, you love it. Because I will be given time to think, okay, rather than questions and discussion, I would prefer the one with quizzes, educational games, etc. So yeah, so Ariba is the one who is more comfortable with quizzes or educational games because in her opinion, that makes learning more engaging, or students get more involved because they're also enjoying. So that's not something wrong. It depends on the class environment, the different types of students, and the different styles of teacher, what kind of a teacher you are. So there's nothing wrong with these classes, except that how you perceive it and how your own personality aligns with it. And then Rabia Iqbal is saying that in second class, a teacher builds critical thinking and helps them to recall their previous knowledge. Yes. So people who are more reflective in nature, they enjoy discussions and dialogues like me. I I can also share that I would prefer to be in the second class because rushing and fast-paced activities, I don't feel comfortable with that. And then if I relate to students, I think that there might be some students who might also struggle with the same thing. But then we have to find a balance somehow because the students are different. And some students really like those kind of activities. So it's not only about us as teachers, it's about the students as well. Subjective perception, exactly. That's the term I was looking for. Okay, I think we have already discussed that what is good about each class and maybe what is missing in each class. And now we can move on. I had some more questions. I can just show you the slide if you really want to see what I was trying to do using my phone with the questions. So this is what I was asking you. Yes, so 2 is for those who wish to know. Sorry, down to the speed of life. Slow down the speed of life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Naturally, human beings are not created for multitasking and very fast pace. That is not natural. But living in that kind of an environment, it makes us like that, but then it affects our health, our well-being, and then we see a lot of psychological issues. Some students feel shy to speak but are good at hands-on activities. Yes, that's a very good point that Ariba has made. Everybody is not into speaking and expressing themselves with words, and they express themselves with different other activities. So you already know all these things. I don't know what I'm doing here, Farheen. So great. Okay. Now, because I'm a researcher, so I try to create some kind of model and framework out of this, because these are two terms that we are talking about. One is called engagement, where we are talking mostly about um, dialogue, critical thinking, reflection, these kind of stuff. And engagement, not necessarily, but mostly is about activities and involvement in something that your brain is continuously involved in doing something. So I created something out of it. Learning is always mutual, yes. So I'm not sure if the font is too small, I can try to make it a little bigger. So according to my experience and what I have heard from you, sometimes it might be true that entertainment is equal to engagement, and by entertainment, I mean that uh, it's a playful kind of an environment. Sometimes people also call it gamified, and there's nothing wrong with it. But it is not necessary that whatever happening in that stage also results in engagement that is meaningful, that is critical, and that results in learning. Doing a lot of activities, you can see that students sometimes are very involved in different kinds of tools. But in the end, when you assess, sometimes it happens that you don't see that they have learned something, or if you give them some kind of assignment, or I don't know, there are different ways to assess a students, and you feel that that didn't work. And I'm not saying that 100% it happens, but many times this has been my experience. When I was teaching and when I started teaching at during COVID, the online teaching, it was 2020, 2019, I think. Yes. And I was a kind of teacher that I was actually awarded with the title of the most creative teacher in the department. English language was my subject. And my coordinator, she came, the HOD, she came to observe my class, and I was like showing GIFs and a lot of reels and I don't know what not. But by the end, I realized that, okay, I was making things very, uh, yeah, thank you. But now I am not like that. I think I crossed that stage. So it also comes with experience that sometimes you don't know that how your students are actually learning. Your own energy sometimes doesn't match with them. So there was one section. It differs from section to section. It also differs from students to students. And one section, it did not work at all. It was second year class. They were like 18 plus, 19, 20 years old. And it was so difficult to engage them. They would not get involved at all. Like here the chat is active, or at least I can notice that you're responding. So they were just like dead kind of an environment. It was very difficult. So I had to use some other strategies for them. And then I realized that same thing cannot work everywhere. So it really depends on how you create some kind of balance between in entertainment and engagement, and how uh, I think it's very ambitious if your all students show learning, because sometimes learning is like invisible. It is happening, but sometimes you don't see it, but it is happening. So if there is silence, that really doesn't mean that learning is not happening. Sometimes silence means that more deeper learning is happening, and that reflects somewhere else. Sometimes else, after 4 or 5 sessions or something, you see that the same student who never participated is suddenly like doing things that you never imagined, something like that. So with that class, I changed my strategies, and I used some debates and some project work, like more hands-on on individual level. So that turned out really good in the end. And once in like the midterm, the class didn't really score well, but by the end of the session, that class was my favorite class, and I was their favorite teacher. So why I'm talking about this experience is that because I I know that everyone has a different experience, and they tackle things, or they choose their tools and their strategies according to their experiences. But sometimes we need to shift and bring some kind of variety in different stages. And there could, I think, never be an experience that we can call like 100% perfect. There's always something that could be improved. There's always room for improvement in something. And that's normal. So finding that balance is very important, but that comes with practice. And we can never say that we have achieved that balance like completely, like both sides are equal. It's meaningful. For meaningful engagement, you need activity, you need energy, because there are students who need that. You need the tools, you need the activities, you need this fast pace because they need it. But you also need to think about the students who are not like that. They are more into thinking and reflection. So questions and doing things with reflection, reasoning, more abstract kind of thinking. And these are the people who are sometimes like um, they like to talk, or they like to write. So they express themselves, or sometimes they play music or do some other stuff that shows their learning. So yeah. So this is my own research. I haven't taken it from any model yet, so I cannot claim that this is the like proven or something that can be applied to any context. But it's just to explain things in a better visual way, because that helps for some people. So I would say that neither side alone is enough, and this balance leads to deeper engagement. And you can disagree with me, of course, and you can, of course, give me your own opinion. Yeah, so some going back to chat, you said that problem of individuality at play. Okay, yes. And the last science will definitely be psychology, ma'am. Oh, psychology. If you read, finish research on psychology, the critical research, then you might change your opinion. So, yeah, I do not want to say this, but something that mostly like we have been taught or we have been raised in societies that have been colonized for long. So sometimes we think that what we have been taught or what we have learned, uh, the Western models, I could say maybe, it's the best thing, but it's not. So I encourage you to always question what you are reading, always question why I'm doing this, always question who is speaking that, who is saying it, and why. And then decide what you want to do. Of course, not during the class. That will definitely destroy the whole class decorum. But when you're planning, when you're preparing yourself, when you're studying, maybe for a degree or in teaching or something. Very well explained. Okay. Did I explain something very well? Thank you so much, Hadika. Yeah. And then something good of everything. Yes, yes, something good of everything. That's a really good point. Are you talking about neo-colonization? Oh, I'm talking about like everything, like post-colonization and post-colonial and neo-colonialism and yeah, post-humanism and post-modernism. Yeah, this is like if I start here, you guys will run away that okay, this is not a workshop. We are coming to some kind of research course. No, let's keep that for some other. If you're really interested, Farheen, we can do something about it later. Yeah, so okay. I have, I think, at least 15 minutes, if I'm not wrong, 13 minutes. But I think that was my whole aim for today, just to show you this model and how I came to it. And feel free to comment or critique on it. And if you don't agree, or if you want to add something to it that is missing here, do let me know because I'm really planning to write or do a journal article on this. So I think there's something, yeah. So silence is not always not equal to no learning, and activity is not always not equal to engagement. Yeah, I do not want to do this activity right now, but I have a slide. I'm just sharing with you. You can do it later because of lack of time. Maybe I do not want to take a lot of time in this because there's some time I want to keep for the questions. Uh, you can do this later, and I have prepared a handout, very small, because maybe I thought that some people might be expecting that I will bring some kind of like digital tools. Okay, use this or use that, and I'm sorry if I disappointed you, and I took it to the critical lens. But this is something that you can do. Just ask AI if you can use or if you use, because I, of course, do not want to force you with that, to tell you some techniques for engagement in an online classroom and then see what the answers are. And then ask these questions that are all these matters that AI is giving you, are they relevant to your class? Or something could work really well, or is there something that could not work well? And the only reason why I wanted to discuss this point was that I wanted to do it here, but due to lack of time, I'm not doing it. I just kept it as a secondary activity. What I'm trying to make as an argument here is that AI does not know your context. You know your children, you know your students, you know your class, you know the context that you are teaching in. So, what is AI? AI is taking knowledge from everywhere, ethically, unethically, you never know. So, what is happening is that you are using something that is coming from hundreds, millions, billions of resources. So, it's you who will decide that what will work in your classroom. And in this activity, my aim was actually to um, foster critical thinking in using AI tools. I use AI, that I'm not against it. I use a lot of AI, but not in a way that I generate content from it. I use it for evaluation purposes. I use it for brainstorming or ideas or something, and I critically evaluate it. And that helps me increase my critical thinking. And that's again a very like huge discussion. We can always plan something differently with that. What are the main advantages and challenges of online teaching for teachers and students? Okay, so you are asking me this question, Ghulam server, if I'm not wrong. Are you asking me to explain this? Or I'm not sure if you just use AI to, uh, if you can let me know. We are already all fed up of the tools. Yeah. So thank you very much for not bringing that up. Oh my God, this is the sentence of my day. Thank you so much, Samina. You just made me so happy. But still, like, I will share that file with you. I'm gonna end now and with some reflection. And I think by the end of it, maybe 3 more minutes, we will know some techniques that I think you already know that, but we can at least we will have them on one slide. I'm asking you some questions again, and you can answer in the chat or you can just think about it or keep it to yourself. So for this, whatever session we had, it was very short. I know I couldn't really explain everything. Is the voice audible? Uh, I'm not sure. Can you hear me? Is everything okay? Because I think someone is struggling
Yes,
with the.
I can hear you. Voice is a little bit low.
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't change anything. Yeah. Okay, so okay, I'm audible, right? So first question is that did in this talk that we had,
It is audible.
it's audible, right? Okay, thank you. Nadeem, you can maybe check something at your end, the technical issue. So I'm repeating the question again. Sorry for the interruption again. Did anything connect to your teaching context, like what we discussed here? Did you feel that your prior knowledge was activated, or did it make sense to you? Just yes or no. Okay, yes. Okay, that's great. Because time is short, so I'm moving on to another question. If still somebody wants to answer the first question, you can write one with your yes or no so that I know that this answer belongs to the first question. I'm repeating the second question now. Did you have to think before responding to the chat, even in some cases? Did I make you think? Okay. I would love to see some no as well. If be honest, I'm not a perfect person. Thought process, okay. Number three, did you learn something from others' responses, from others, uh, your fellows sitting here? That's a very important thing, shared learning. Obviously, yes, thank you. Number four, did you feel that your ideas were appreciated or valued or challenged? I did challenge some ideas and I did say that I disagree with something. I did not try to hide myself behind that. No, 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 I have to keep them happy. No, 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 I cannot say something bad. Okay. I felt appreciated, highly valued. Thank you. if someone felt challenged, please do mention that too. That's very important. Critical and logical. Last question. We did not do the AI activity, but still I showed you, and the question is related to that. If you had done this activity, for example, do you think it would foster critical thinking if you do this? Yes. That's all. And whatever I said, again, I can show the slide. I can share these slides with Farheen. Farheen, I'm not sure if you are allowed to like pass on or something. Just let me know how it works. So these are the questions that I asked you. And with same questions, I can show you that these are techniques that you already knew, but I think it's a good reminder for us. Or sometimes for me, when I was making this lesson, something was very new for me. For example, shared learning. So the first question about the teaching context, about the prior experience, the technique is to connect with your students' real experiences, because if you don't connect with real life experiences, then it will not make sense to many of the students, and maybe the silent people would speak or would feel connected at least if you touch their lives in a respectful manner that doesn't hurt. Inclusion is also, that is very common nowadays, very hot topic in education. Then the second one is about activating thinking. So you need to do something that people think instead of talking and talking and talking constantly in an online class, because usually we don't have any other choice. We need to pause and we need to think and give them time to think and then respond. So you might have noticed that I waited for your answers and I tried to be silent. I think I did. I'm not sure. You can let me know if I did or not. And then I think there was a lot of learning from each other's responses. I was not only learning from you, you were also learning from others. So that's called shared learning, and you can create this environment. Already do, I think, many teachers, because the students learn from peers better than the teachers, I think. And then encourage responses, make people feel valued. I try to take your names so that you feel that someone is valuing your response. So that is very important. Students feel good about it. As human beings, we really like to be appreciated or valued. But if you disagree with something, respectfully express that too. And then ask for justification from the other person that why they said that. Maybe they have a justification that may change your opinion, right? So, and yeah, and then critical thinking and AI was something that we talked about. This is it from my side. And Fareen, I'm not sure, but I'm done. And this is, I thought to give some time to Q&A, but before you
Yeah.
end, I
Thank
wanted
you
to,
so much, Akshay, for
yeah,
conducting this wonderful session.
I just wanted
And
this is my LinkedIn QR code if they want to stay connected with me. And this is my and just let me know that do I share the PDF with you, the handout that I made, or share it here in the chat?
you can share it here as well, and you can share it with me. I can share it later with them. I can email it to the participants. That's also doable.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm done now, and thank you so much for inviting me. And I think I missed some of the chat comments, but if anyone has any questions or something, I'm
I think that this session was a little bit different from what we were expecting, and you already mentioned that you did not mention any AI tools like we were expecting that, but it's actually very engaging. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you so much. If it's really good if you felt that was different, because that's, I think, that's how you communicate your, I would say, unfiltered thoughts. Yeah. Okay, somebody was asking about Sweden and something. Yes, Finland also has banned phone. My son is in grade 9. and they cannot use phones in schools, just I think in break time or something. But that also now they are considering to ban even in break times because of social development issues that are happening here. A lot of polarization and extremism. Yeah. Certificate link. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fahim.
I am now uploading the certificate link in the chat box for everyone to fill in.
Okay. Yeah.
Just give.
And feel free if you have any questions, you can email me, and I can also share this slides with you here. I think that would be better.
Yeah, you can also share it here, and I will share it later with all the registered participants.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, so yeah, I've shared the certificate link in the chat box. Thank you so much, Afshin, for conducting this wonderful session. Thank you,
so
everyone,
much.
for joining.
Okay, maybe
Okay, Allah
some
Hafiz.
more sessions. Allah Hafiz, everyone.
Yes, yes, we look forward to it. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.